We're on in 3, 2.
Hi guys, I'm Jose, also known as Josenotjuan. Welcome to That's a Dude in a Dress podcast. Mija, do I got some chisme for you today? Okay, so you've already known that we did the interview with Angelitos just a couple of weeks ago. And then I did an interview with Tony Directs. Man, isn't he yummy, ladies? Hi! Ooh, call me please. Today's subject is cheating. Girl, do we got some... Look, don't start yelling at me. That's what I got. That's all I have. But I feel like it's one of those subjects everybody has some experience with. I'm going to move to the side because my mic sucks over there. But I feel like we have a ton of experience when it comes to cheating. And one of the biggest things I think I have it from both perspectives. I have been cheated on. And I have cheated many times when I was younger. So I'm going to go a little bit based on what I've done. I've got someone who wrote me someone who gave me a little bit of a tea. This was more of tea, but when I get to that point, we'll talk about it. So anyway, this is who I am. I'm Jose. So, okay, let's get straight into it. So when I was younger, I remember when I was going through a lot of trauma. I'm not putting this, please. I am taking responsibility for what I have done, mija. I did it. It was my responsibility. It was my bad. I'm sorry if you're out there about those. Because I don't think I ever admitted it. Except one. There's this one vato who's terco. This guy keeps telling my family members he cheated on me. Girl, I did not cheat on you. You said, we'll get into that in just a bit. So, when I was younger, I had quite a few boyfriends, maybe about 2 or 3. And during that time, mind you, I was young. I was trying to find myself. But I did cheat on quite a few of them. Almost everyone except the first and the most current one. So, this is what I used to do. This is a bad habit. Look, before we didn't have like cell phones going on wild like we do now, I would normally find guys on Adam for Adam. I would go on, like, when you're at the club or whatever, and you meet them and it's up top, you meet them in that way. That's what I would do. One time, shame on me, I have my sister-in-law too here, and she'll be commenting in and out because you're going to be like, who is that? Is it Espiritu Santo? Because we need a woman's perspective too, because I need to hear it because I get it from a gay man. I grew up with nothing but women, so I get it from that perspective, but I'm not a woman. So sometimes I need to be put in my place too. So one time I was with one guy and I had already cheated. I had cheated left and right, honey. But what a lot of people don't know is that one time I caught him. He went to go take a shower. Mija. And something instinctually, not the audacity, because I was already cheating. I had the audacity to be like, his phone rang it got a notification, and it was when we had like the black, what are those called? The
Burberries?
The Burberries,
no.
yeah. No, yeah.
No,
was it Burberries?
No,
Blackberries. That's a cologne. No, not that. It was the
Blackberries.
Blackberries. Okay, so it was the Blackberries. It was during that time. Well,
those were the ancient times.
Ancient, mija. Well, he went to go take a shower, right? And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna something came on and something like, I saw the notification. So I went to go check. It was either a call or notification. I don't know what it was, but I went to go look at it. Well, something told me, mija, check it. Because back then, remember, it didn't have like how to lock it. You just would get on.
Who am I to fight a feeling?
Exactly. So I was like, let me just check it. And sure enough, isn't he talking to a vato? On top of it, we were going to all the same school. This guy had already graduated, but they were doing like the same show. Well, I see the text messages and it's saying like, oh my God, I had a great time. I miss you. I can't wait to have another date. Oh, hell no, he's right, girl. But still, I was cheating, so I deserved it. Anyway, so I'm looking through it, right? And the Latina in me, mija, I got real crazy. I mean, Look, I shouldn't have gotten this crazy. I didn't get like physical or anything like that. I got that calm crazy. Yeah, I don't know what.
That's
do you
the
remember?
worst.
Oh, do you remember that? What's the name of that movie? The one with ¿cómo se llama? Where she puts baby oil on the floor, and then she just whips him while he's taking a shower too, because she caught him cheating. No, you know what I'm talking about. Tell me the name of it, please, on the comments, because I need to know which one it was. I know you know, because you're a lot smarter than me.
It was a Tyler Perry film. I can do bad all by myself.
Yes, I can do all.
Taraji
Yeah, come on, Taraji. So anyway, yes, it was kind of that same moment. So he was taking a shower. I opened the door. I close it right behind me. I lock it. I am calm and collected, mija. I am straightforward collected. So he's taking a shower, and I say, hey, I have a question for you. Mind you, I'm deadlocked straight at the shower. And he's like, yeah, what's up, babe? And I said, oh, I want you to answer this. And you only got one chance to answer this correctly. You know when you hear the water dripping down, coming down, and it's like, that's my noise.
Even the water slowed down.
No, mija, even the water, it sounded like just a rush of water, like beating onto like the body, but nothing moving. You could tell he froze in place, honey. So anyway, I tell him, you have one chance to answer this, and I want to hear the damn truth. And he says,
can I phone a friend?
yes. No, well, at the time he couldn't get a chance to breathe me out, because I was like locked on that door. I was not gonna let him out. So anyway, so he says, sure. I mean, he paused. He was scared. I was scared of how crazy I was gonna get. I said, are you cheating on me? Silence. Nothing but, I mean, I could hear the breathing. I mean, the panting from him. I could hear it clearly. I couldn't even hear the shower anymore. That's how mad I was zoned in, mija. So anyway, he quiets down and he says, yes, I am. I said, okay. I didn't know he was going to be that honest. I thought he was just going to be like, I mean, you know, because I wanted to fight.
I mean, what is cheating?
You didn't say it from the get-go. I feel like he had the chance to lie. Good for him. He's a good man, but I'm sure he's still a good man, whatever. I don't judge him, because look, I did bad all bad by myself. But when he did respond correctly, or at least honestly, I was like, oh shit, what do I do with this? I was like, that's fine.
Plan B.
Plan B. Crazier.
And bitter.
And yes, exactly. I was bitter, honey. But what I did, I said, oh, okay, that's fine. When you're done with that shower, go ahead and go out the way you came into this world. All butt ass naked, mija. Go home. Go grab your shit, because he was from where we lived. I said, grab your shit, and I mean your shit. Grab your like towel, and then grab your keys and get the fuck out. And he was like, no, you gotta let me grab my stuff. I said, I don't gotta let you grab nothing. What I gotta let you grab is just the keys, because that belongs to you. The apartment didn't belong to you. The house, I mean, I don't care. His items did belong to him, but I was mad, girl. He got me. He got me. The mother, ow.
He got me
again. Motherfucker. Ooh, I deserve that probably.
Get out.
Just get out. No, I was not giving you that queen that day. I was like, get your shit and get out.
The man.
I was like, what's up, bro? But yeah, so I told him, no, you got to get your shit and get out. And he got out. He still muzzled his way through, girl, and later on and got his stuff and whatever. But I have to say, from his perspective, I could understand it. We were not having like that connection in the boudoir, if that makes sense. I feel like because he must have already been doing it. I was already doing it. He must have instinctually also felt it. So I feel like the universe was like, y'all don't belong together. And I still had to kind of like go to school with him later on. A lot of people didn't know that. I still had to like muster up the courage and see him and the guy he cheated on with together, because I would see them all the time. Not only did Karma say, bitch, I got you. She said, not only am I going to throw it in your face, but I'm going to flaunt it, bitch. Because I saw them constantly. Constantly. So it hurt my heart. But that's what I get for cheating. I mean, I deserved it. He deserved it too, whatever he got. But that's the perspective of that one that I cheated on. Now, let me tell you about one that it was like not too long afterwards. I think it was like maybe 5 years later. I was in love with this dude. Skinny little thing, twink.
Poor soul.
Yes, poor soul. Le gustó las gordas. And we had a connection. He was really patient and loving. And I had my nieces at the time. I was loving everything about it. But there's something that wasn't connecting. Like, my best friend didn't like him at all, even though he was a kind guy.
Always listen to that friend.
I love you, Bianca. That's my ride or die for soul. But anyway, she had told me, I don't like this dude. And I was all, ugh. You know how you get when you're in the wrong relationship. You get offended, mija. You don't want to hear the truth. No. And so, anyway, so she told me I don't like him, and I was like, we lived in the same apartment complex, her and I. We stopped like seeing each other as much because I knew it was uncomfortable for her and him. Well, he didn't know any better. But anyway, he was so good to me, girl, but I cheated. One time I went to Dallas because one of my friends from the same school that I went to passed away. But I had already cheated, but he didn't know that. I shouldn't be laughing, I know. But it was a long time ago, and I've learned. This was in my 20s, mija, so like 2 years ago. And so to me, it was I got back from Dallas, and I was honest with this one. I told him, and I said, look, it hurts me to tell you this, but I did this. And he was like, what? And you should have seen his face. I had, mind you, with the other guy, I caught him cheating, so it was easy for me to be like, get your shit, get out. I was mad. Now with this one, I saw the other side of it, the hurt part of it. I saw the pain behind that one. He said, now get your shit and get out. Even though it was my apartment. No, this one hurt my heart because he looked at me and said, it's over. That's how much he was like, I keep looking at the camera over here, I'm sorry, but I know you guys are over here, but he told me, that's it, I'm done. And I was like crushed. I wasn't expecting him to just be like, done. I saw this guy for the rest of my life. That's how much I was like in love. But he said no. He taught me a good lesson. He taught me that when you love somebody like that, you take care of it. You don't disrespect them. So anyway, he said, I'm going to go because I love me more than I love you. Without saying it. But that's what he was pretty much stating, is that I love who I am and respect who I am not to be in this relationship. So I'm going to go ahead and bid you adieu. I was like, oh, shit. I didn't know what to say.
The mic on you.
Before that was popular.
What's his name? Let me look him up.
I already tried. He's not on Facebook or anything. I miss you. I learned. No, I feel like I think like everything is, like anything, it's a lesson, right? And to me, it was the ultimate lesson of you don't cheat. If you love somebody, you don't cheat. You can go through it, get upset, get angry, walk away. Not physical, but
Don't go to Dallas for a funeral.
Fuck you, Dallas. So now, after learning that, I said to myself, I'm not going to do this again. I walked away from that situation. It took like 3-4 years to like finally settle the nerve to say I'm over this. Finally. But what I learned from that is when I walked away from it, I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't hurt somebody again like this anymore. So I hadn't done that ever again. Like I got in relationships and never did it again because I said that's it. That's it. It crushed me to like that I hurt a human being that bad. Like what a fucking asshole.
That's what I said.
And go ahead and block her, Mike. She'll be leaving, guys. But I see what you're saying. Pretty much, it's what she's saying is that she's not there financially to support it. To me, I think you have more experience with this, right?
Me never.
Me single mom nunca. So tell me from that perspective, what was the hardest part? Because I know you didn't get financial help from either guy. So, or do you have?
The youngest one pays on occasion.
Oh, I love that. On occasion, he's a dad.
He's a seasonal dad.
Seasonal. This is what I don't understand. I get it. You made your mistakes, right? These are your choices and your consequences to like choosing these kind of men. So tell me, what exactly did you see in this guy, this most recent one? What did you see in this guy that you were like, damn, sign me up, girl?
It was.
Ooh. Damn. What is it about the good deed that makes you fuck up? Oh.
It scrambles all the brain cells. You should be like, yes, I'll do whatever you want. You want to cheat on me? Oh, you're so sweet. Look, let me see the other woman. She's beautiful. Bring her by. You're just a whole clusterfuck.
That sounds pretty bad. I dated this one guy and he fucked it up good, girl. But he didn't fuck that up until we were like done. We were done. We were no longer in a relationship, but we were off and on in that way. And I would fly over there. We would meet up. Mija, you twist my legs,
Had you talking in tongues?
Tongues, honey. I was all, oh my God. So he was one of the best ones that I've ever had. Shout out, miss you.
Hashtag I got flame points.
Now I'll go see you. But no, he's happily married. I would not do anything anymore. No, but he's one of them that I was like, good thing he didn't put it on me in the beginning, like put it on me, because had he done that, girl, the crazy. I mean, I was crazy, but I think I would have been like 10 times crazy. Ooh. But yes, anyway, speaking of, because cheating, I didn't cheat on that fucker at all. But I have to say that cheating is one of my biggest things that I've seen from friends, right? Because I grew up with nothing but women. And I've seen it time and time again where the red flags, we standing outside the relationship see it. We see it. I'm like, hold on, he just told you he's got a 6-figure income. But that broke van from 2010 isn't fixed. It's rolling on one tire, good tire.
He got a 6-figure income. He's just paying it on the car.
Well, he ain't paying on nothing because this man, I don't know if he financially kept his money, but he always was broke. Like broke. I don't know. What are some of the red flags that now that you can step back and say,
I was colorblind.
No, one of the red flags that I used to get, and ladies, tell me your red flags. Guys, too, because I know there's guys out there that you have those red flags, mija. So I remember when I was in one of the relationships, and he wasn't a relationship like that, but he was trying. I was in my early 20s. He was like maybe about the cusp of like getting to his 40s, but he was me. I'm so embarrassed because my nephew's in here, but he knows how I speak. So one time this guy said, he was like, hey, let's come over. And he wooed me, girl. He made me dinner, took me out, picked me up. You know, when you're young, sometimes you don't have a car. So he wooed me. He did everything, paid the bill, all that good stuff. So he wined and dined me, honey. Pero este vato was pushing sex, and that was the red flag. He was pushing it when I was like, no, I was still new to all this. So I was like, no, let's take our time. Y then se lo sacó, mija. Híjole. I was all, what the fuck? You're not putting that next to me. One day he tried. And I was like, you know what? This isn't going to work. Mind you, it was like, he didn't enter at all. But we tried, but it just wasn't happening. Because she tight. She tight. This wasn't happening. But the next day, this is where it just went zero. I was like, this isn't going to work. Can you drop me off? So he drops me off at my house. And the very next day, he calls me and says this to me. This is no lie. He says, I just wanted to let you know that I have AIDS and you do too now. Mind you, I'm in my early 20s. And this is what he pulls out as a card to say, you know what? He doesn't want me? Well, I'm gonna fuck him up. And he did. I cried. I cried. I went to my sister's house and I was like, she was like, what? And she was like, can you shut the fuck up and tell me? I was like, you right. So I ended up telling her and she was like, what? No, you don't. And I said, he said I do. She's like, she read it through real quick. He's fucking lying. I said, you don't know, he could be right. And she was like, he's fucking lying. Go get checked. Well, back in the day, when you used to get a test, it wasn't like today. Now they're instant in the gay community. You want an HIV test? Boom, you got it. Like, wait 10, 15 minutes, sometimes 30. But back then, you would take 2 weeks to find results. 2 weeks, mija. You heard that right. So I took an HIV test. I had to wait 2 weeks. And then the way you would do this is that you would call the number and then they would tell you if you're negative. If you weren't, they would tell you to come in. Fuck you, whoever decided to make that. Fuck you. You know what kind of hell you put me through those 2 weeks?
The longest.
The longest. But I don't blame them. I blame this vato. He put me for 2 weeks, I was distraught. I was crying off and on and off. So I finally get the results and I get the call because you have to, so they give you like a code and you call the number. So the number, you call it and it says, okay, punch in your code. And so I push the code in. And then I was like, please. You want to hear it's negative. But your heart's like palpitating. So finally I get the results and it says you're negative. Well, because he had fucked me up for 2 weeks with this. 2 weeks, mind you, on and off. He was calling and he was harassing, calling everywhere. My job, everywhere. In between those 2 weeks, harassing me, girl. Mind you, he was in the army and he would find a way. He even what's that when you're in the army but you leave it? Without AWOL. He AWOL. And I still didn't use that against him. And I should have, because I was angry at how, what he did to me for those past 2 weeks. Well, anyway, I get the results and I get to this sigh of relief finally. But that back part of my head is still sorry, there's another plane sponsored by Beach Jet Planes. So I know there's something in my back of my mind that told me, you know what, just go get tested again. So I went to go get tested again. I had to lie and say I hadn't gotten a test, because I went to a different company, because I just wanted to hear no twice. Because if I get the results and they tell me you got it, now it's 50-50. Now I'm going to go in and get the blood. I'm going to go get all this good stuff. So anyway, come back and sure enough, 2 weeks later, it was negative. So I keep checking it after that every 3 months, which is what you do in the gay community. Just because you want to always constantly get checked. But it was the worst fucking 2 weeks. And I should have known by the red flags, girl. Because not only was he older than me, but he almost tried to control certain situations. And how he did this was he minimized where I went. He automatically was like, I was like, oh, I'm going to go spend time with my family. He's like, oh, but I miss you. I want to see you. Can you see them later? Simple things like that. that I didn't see. And I was a motherfucker. I walked away from that and I said, I gotta learn. Every time I'm in I break up in a relationship, then there's been many, mija. Many, mija. Too many to count. What?
Too many to count.
Well, no, I was like 5.
Because you're a lady.
I'm a lady. You know I don't put out. Now, putting out's different. Good thing she can't see me. Tell myself, what did I learn? What red flag was I or were they? Because I'm needy. I don't know if you know, but I'm needy. Like, I'm knees deep needy. That's how needy I get in a relationship. But
just a relationship?
Well, every relationship's a relationship. She's talking about her. I am. But I always find, like, now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize that I got to be by myself sometimes. And so I've been by myself for about 5 years, 6 years, something. It's been a long time, 6, 7 years, something like that. But I realized that in between that time that I was like, I've got to pay attention. Next time I'm on a date, and I've been on dates a few times, and I've realized, what am I not looking at? What am I not paying attention to? Because I've got to automatically, you know how sometimes I heard this one on TikTok, and the girl said, I was exhausted, I was tired of going on dates, and I wasn't finding anybody. So she said, you know what? I'm just going to try one more. So she got on Tinder. And she wasn't feeling it, but she was still conversing with him. Something told her instinctually not to, right? So he had told her, hey, let's meet up on this date to go on a date. She said, no, you know what? I'm just going to go to my parents' house. When between that conversation, she ended up telling them that the parents' house, they had left on vacation or something like that, and she's just house sitting by herself. In between that, while she was there at the house, and mind you, it was like one of those, like where it's a ranch or something like that, where it's like you're
secluded.
Yeah, exactly. It's really secluded, where the next neighbor is like miles down. Well, she ended up hearing noises during one of the nights, and she was like, "That's weird." Well, she let it go because she was like, "Okay, I'm fine." Well, the next time she heard it, she said, "No, I'm calling the police." But when she called the police this time, for some way, I don't know how the operator on the other line knew, but the operator knew that her phone was being tapped. So without telling her, she was like, no, you're going to be fine. I'm going to stay on the phone with you. But honestly, I don't think I need to send police or anything like that. She did a good job.
I played it off.
Yes, really, really good. I mean, that's the kind of operator you want. Not the ones that you constantly hear like, what? Can you be quiet?
It's not always about you.
Yeah, I'm having an emotional breakdown. But she did a fantastic job. Finally, when the police because remember, she's at the gate, and the house from the gate is a distance. So they can't get in because she, I guess, closed it out. Well, anyway, the operator tells her, hey, why don't you do me a favor? Can you go to the front door? And she's like, yeah, look left and right. She's like, what? She's like, what do you see? And the girl's like, nothing, why? She goes, great. Now run for the gate. The police are there. And she speeds all the way down. And she sure enough gets the police. The police get into her house. And what do they find? In the basement, he was building a cage for her. A cage. This is what you have to listen to, the red flags, mija. It better be safe than sorry. Do you watch more of it?
No.
It's 2 girls. They're fucking amazing. Ashley and... Oh, I forgot the other one. Sorry. They're phenomenal. Watch them. Morbid is amazing. Anyway, Morbid always says, fresh air is for dead people. I'm like, you know what? Aquí me quedo panzona. I'll just stay home and be fat. Because they constantly say it's best to be rude and stay alive. So I feel like in those situations, you see a red flag, you don't have to entertain it. Leave him or her. Because there's some women out there that are crazy too. I feel like I met her last week and I can't stand her. I can't stand her. But those are the red flags that I constantly see. Do you have any that you were like, you know what? That was a fucking red flag.
It's always when they want to keep you from your family, your kids, Your best friends, any family members, they know that it's important to you, and they want to. Well, if you don't want to spend time with me, do you not care?
That gave me goosebumps.
It's like, I care, but I care more about them. Also, it's more about them before me.
Oh, yes.
So now you have to like worry about how you word it, because you're never gonna win it. The conversation, the back and forth. So as soon as they cut you off, single moms, they tell you no, your kids has to do something, but they want to intervene. Red flag. You want to go party with your tia, go get crazy with their Melrose jeans and them tube tops, and he says no. Like, I want you to be with me. Cut him off. Red flag.
Red flags, yes.
If your best friend has that tingle and knows that there's something wrong, listen to that best friend. They're your best friend for a reason.
I used to always think, like, still to this day, I still think I have good instinct about people, but sometimes I forget. Just like you mentioned it, I forget that I have my walls are down and I'm not really paying attention. So I have two best friends that I literally turn around and say, "What do you think? What do you think? Do you like that person? Do you," even to like just in general on people, because sometimes I'm not paying attention, and sometimes I'm distracted by either videos or editing or so forth that I forget to just fully pay attention. But I personally think it's one of those situations that I rely on them. So I always want to know what their opinion is, so I'm not fucking up again. I know I'm going to mess up along the way, but I'd rather not mess up when it does count, like within a relationship. I just don't want to. I have a bad habit like you of choosing the right man, and you have a good track record. Ooh, yeah, you got kids to prove it.
They're bookmarks.
Yes, they're You have, oh, save that chapter. Oh, thank God I don't have bookmarks, Mia. I don't want any marker, anything in reference to any of my exes. I wish them well, though. That's something that I'm like, I get angry just like everybody else. And sometimes I just want to punch a hoe. No offense, hoes. But
I just want to punch you.
I just want to knock you out. But at the same time, I'm joking, of course. But sometimes I just feel like the easier I let it go and the more I forgive, the easier it becomes for me to move on and to realize. I feel like it lifts a weight off my shoulders, and it also lets me see the perspective later on. Like, I get clarity is what I'm trying to say. I get, like, when I see a guy, I was going on a date, and the guy was like, "Oh, you're really cute, blah, blah. Let's go."
Flag.
You're a liar. But no, he said something that triggered he said something like, "Oh, I said, how, what do you see in a relationship?" And he was like, "Oh, I mean, whatever they want. Whatever you want me to do is what I'll do. I want you to lead in the relationship." I get leading. I said, "What do you mean by leading? Do you want me to lead in every perspective?" And he's like, "Yeah, like for dinner, for everything." He's all, "I will do it. I would prefer to be submissive all the time." Look, I get it. There are some people out there that are just kinky and love being submissive. You do you, boo. But not for me. I need a man that can put me in my place sometimes and be like, "Cállate el hocico, pinche gorda." Not in those exact words. More loving, of course.
Gordita.
Yeah, or flaquita. Body shape. Something. There's something real cute. I want a guy to be like, "No, babe, I'm not in the mood for that. Let's eat so-and-so." Can you deliver? That's the kind, like, I want him to at least take a little charge when it comes to certain things, because I don't want him to be a pushover. I found that, I don't know if that's a red flag or if that's just something that I'm like, that's not attractive. Because I'm a lot to handle. My best friend says, "Don't say that." But sorry, BFF. But she says, "Don't say that." And you're right. I'm not a lot. I'm worthy of good man. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a good ass man. But Mia, because I'm gonna let you go now. But before I let you go, I want you to tell me what's your red flag. Because Mia, I need to learn. I'm out here in the streets like you are, and I want to make sure that I hear all the cues before I can say no. Because I'll say yes, because I'm easy. I'm real easy.
We know.
I miss you.
Call me.
Call me, please. But yes, so to me, it's just teach me what some of those red flags are to you. Tell me exactly what they were and when you caught it, because that me, honey, I want to hear it. But if you have a chisme or something to share, please share it at josenotjuan0@gmail.com. Remember, I'm Jose. Don't forget to follow and get the notifications so you'll know exactly when I upload videos. So, because it helps my algorithm. And thank you so much. Again, this is Erica, my sister-in-law, and I love you and thank you for coming. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. This is Jose, also known as Josenotjuan, and this is sponsored by the Wolfpack Show. Guys, follow them. They're phenomenal. I love them. Please follow them. The Wolfpack Show on every platform. Once again, this is a Dude in a Dress podcast. Dame un besito because I gotta go. Mwah!